Okay, so, final episode, spoilers, duh. After all of our hopes for our first official multiverse crossover have shot up to the moon on seeing Fox's Quicksilver, Evan Peters, reprise his character in WandaVision, we were quite literally dropped on our head by Disney after hearing that the entire thing was just a prank, bro, and it all led up to a stupid dick joke.
You're Ralph Bohner?
Boner.
By far, one of the best and most fun characters to come on the screen in the Xmen movies was Evan Peters' Quicksilver. And we've been wanting an actual multiverse crossover for a while, and Disney's been teasing it for a while now. I mean, the title of Doctor Strange 2 is literally called the Multiverse of Madness. At one point or another, it's going to happen. Quicksilver could have been such a good first one, such a warm welcome to the Disneyverse and X-Men mashup. Why did they have to go and crush our dreams like that? In the post-credit scene of episode 7, we see Monica Rambeau being nosy and snooping around Agatha's house and discovering her witch's basement, only for her to be caught and kidnapped by who we thought was Fox's Quicksilver. And then jump ahead to the final episode, and Rambeau actually learns that this guy's real name is Ralph Bohner, and he was just a normal citizen of Westview under a spell from Agatha that gave him powers like Wanda's dead brother Petro. Disney really went that far out of their way just to pull the old bait and switch on us? Or did they? I have a theory, and I have some questions to go along with that theory. What if this is actually Evan Peters' Quicksilver from the Fox universe? In Infinity War, Doctor Strange lived through 14 million different realities, right? As in, he went through and saw all of those out to the very end until Thanos either killed everyone or they killed Thanos. What if, in just one of those timelines, some crazy anomaly happened while Quicksilver was running super fast in the Fox universe, and he did some multiverse hopping like Flash does in the CW show? I mean, all you need is just one crazy what if, and Disney can build an entire explanation showing how he ended up in witness protection. There's a lot more to it, so I want you to bonk your head on the subscribe button and watch until the end of the video to see how I'm hoping it will pan out. Disney had such a huge opportunity bringing the first official multiverse crossover into the show. It was the perfect setup with the perfect character. It's totally understandable for you to feel betrayed by Disney's use of this character, turning him into an NPC by the end of the show. I was really impressed overall with this show, the twists, the turns, the new characters, the origin story and emergence of the full-fledged Scarlet Witch finally. Also, the lack of Doctor Strange in this show was shocking. I was really expecting him to show up in at least the end credits scene, but you know what? Just one more year until we get Doctor Strange 2. I guess we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer to get a peek at the multiverse, but a little bit of a tease couldn't have hurt too much, could it? I mean, they've already done Quicksilver dirty once with Age of Ultron. He showed up for his first MCU movie, and then they killed him off immediately. Why'd they have to go and do him dirty again? They literally had the opportunity to bring the beloved X-Men Quicksilver into the Disneyverse, and they threw their window of opportunity right out into the trash. Or did they? Let's jump right into this video because I've got some ideas on how they could turn this all around and still have Evan Peters play Quicksilver in the MCU. And later, I want to talk about why this was different from the Spider-Man Far From Home bait and switch with Mysterio and why one works and one doesn't. So jumping right into it, let's look at the big question in the room of why on earth did Disney specifically choose to cast Evan Peters as Quicksilver for the show when they never intended for his character to actually be Quicksilver? They didn't even want another actor to play this role. They went straight to Peters and didn't want anyone else. The whole thing was just meant to add on to the overall meta-ness of the show, because real Quicksilver is dead, right? We all watched Age of Ultron, we all saw Holy Petro. Well, that's why Agatha wasn't able to use Wanda's actual brother, because remember, Agatha was controlling this Ralph Bohner Quicksilver, and she was using him to get close to Wanda and her family so she could figure out how Wanda was able to create this giant dimension or reality, whatever you want to call this massive controlled environment called the Hex. Twitch? Hex? Hex? Twitch? Go follow me on Twitch at It's Michael J. Excuse me. Whew. That was a Michael J. sneeze. And poor Wanda, so lost in grief at this point and just utterly confused. She has no idea what to believe is real or not real, so she has no trouble in her mind writing off that he looks a little different than she remembered, but, you know, not a big deal, it's probably just another mind game. But what if there's another reason Wanda felt like it was actually her brother? What if she could sense that this man had some kind of connection to her brother, and that's why Agatha could slip it past her? Okay, so hear me out. Next movie is called Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. It comes out next year. Disney bought the rights to Fox and all their X-Men characters in 2019, and just last week there was rumors that a new X-Men movie called Mutants will be coming out. So there's a really good chance that we're going to be seeing the X-Men characters and most likely some more of Evan Peters as Quicksilver in this universe. Okay, so hear me out. Remember in Infinity War when Doctor Strange was doing his thing? So what if when he was figuring those out, there was some crazy anomaly where Quicksilver was running super fast in his universe, and he ended up pulling a Flash and running faster than he's ever run before right into a different universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or maybe just a different Earth, they'll call it. And maybe he did it right as Doctor Strange was resetting the timeline and got glitched into our Earth, and S.W.O.R.D. found him and tucked him away in Westview under witness protection as Ralph Bohner until they could figure out what to do with him. I don't know. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but it's very plausible. Marvel could easily cook up a believable explanation for all this. And I'm saying maybe this is why Wanda passed him off so easily as her brother, because she could sense that in some way he was connected to the MCU Petro. He was a different Earth's Quicksilver, and now he's in our Earth to help us introduce our first mutants. Part of me knows that this is very doable. The same thing happened in the Flash CW show. Flash was out for a run with this supercharger on his chest, and he was able to run 4 times faster than normal, literally sending him to a different Earth. And eventually, to get back, he had to run alongside Supergirl, and she literally threw him forward back to his universe. And since we don't have a Supergirl in the MCU, it looks like Quicksilver is going to be here for a while. Because honestly, I don't really think they could waste such a huge fan favorite on a meta gotcha moment for the audience. The entire reason they hired Peters was to get us to believe, just like Wanda believed, that he was in fact Quicksilver. Because in the show, the character he plays has no real significance to anything. He only matters because we know in real life that he played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies. So, us the audience, we all got excited for a universe crossover, only for Disney to be like, ha, just kidding, he's not Quicksilver, don't you know we already have a Quicksilver? He's dead. I mean, they even portrayed him similarly to how the character was portrayed in the Fox, with this adult, childish-like behavior. It was literally all to convince the audience that it was in fact Petro, just the same as Agatha was trying to convince Wanda that it was Petro. Disney is the real-life Agatha. They used Peters to convince you that it was really Petro. But in the MCU, Wanda's real brother was shot and killed on camera. It wasn't some off-screen death where you know the main character is going to come back. This dude sacrificed himself to protect Hawkeye, and in doing so got shot with real bullets and actually died, rendering it impossible for him to be the real Petro. But maybe because Wanda's a witch, she had some notion that this undercover Ralph Bohner had ties to her brother in a different universe or something and was unsure of so many things at this point, that's why she accepted it. Just like how technically it should be impossible in the real world because he played a character in a different universe, that they're not the same character. But since Disney already has their own Quicksilver and now they own Fox license, they can technically merge these characters together and have both. And since we've seen him before as Quicksilver, we were like, yep, that's definitely Quicksilver. If you think about it, it was one of the most meta twists we've ever seen. Disney played us just like Agatha was playing Wanda. And we all fell for it because, who can blame us for having a little hope, Is that too much to ask? We all have been asking for a multiverse crossover, just give it to us. Hopefully they make it up to us one day by actually merging the two universes. I still want to see Deadpool pop out of a portal and Doctor Strange 2 and then just close it up and be like, oops, wrong portal, and then walk away. I want to see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man swing in and help out Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the next movie. Disney can totally do it. They literally own everything. They're the biggest entertainment monopoly. It's just a matter of time. And you know what? I can't help but be curious if he actually is Quicksilver in the MCU, if Agatha sensed that or knew that he had some kind of connection to Wanda or her brother Petro, and that's why she picked him, or if it was literally just because he lived next door and she wanted to use his house to get close to them. Disney's not too big on random coincidences. Usually everything in the MCU has a purpose, so that's why I'm curious. I just saw someone talking about the Quicksilver twist, saying basically Disney used the excitement that they knew we would get at the thought of merging the MCU with another universe. But in the end, they just pulled out the rug from us, and it basically meant nothing. The MCU is still on the independent side of things, separated from the X-Men universe and the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, but I don't think that they should be afraid to include elements from other universes to build their story on. I actually think it would help and add to the excitement and possibilities with what they can do. People would appreciate it if they did that. We kind of needed somewhere for all of this Quicksilver excitement to go. Once we realized it wasn't him, it was just kind of like, oh, dang, well, I guess it wasn't that big thing we were all hoping it was, and it just kind of killed our excitement. There wasn't a follow-up or a PS or another tease to keep us holding on to that excitement, which was kind of sad. It left us feeling kind of empty. But that being said, I do still have hope and believe that in the future, I'm sure they'll do even the slightest merge. But for this show, in the respect of giving us somewhere to put that universe merge excitement, I think they totally dropped the ball. I want to see Evan Peters actually come play Quicksilver again. That would be so cool. I mean, take Spider-Man Far From Home, for instance. In this movie, they portrayed Mysterio as we thought we knew him, and then there was this big reveal that he wasn't who we thought he was, and it was all a facade, and he was just a normal person from Earth taking advantage of technology, and he never even had superpowers. This was totally different, because once you took everything away from Mysterio, he was still a great villain, an amazing twist on a character we all thought we knew. When you took everything away from this Quicksilver, he was just a random person who coincidentally became a pawn in Agatha's plan. He's just some guy, and now that we know, there's nothing more to his character. There's no hope that he will be anything more unless we dig for theories like these, because they were talking about how casting Evan Peters as Quicksilver in the show was kind of a meta sitcom joke, how the same character will just show up over time played by different actors. But you know what? I'm not hearing anyone laughing about it. Maybe they just didn't realize how big of a fan favorite this Quicksilver was to us, because they literally led us along with the biggest multiverse tease of all and then just dropped us all on our head and said it was a big joke. I just wish they did it better. They should have given us a little bit more of a tease at the end to keep all of our hopes and excitement alive. I mean, we all know it's coming. Doctor Strange 2 is literally called the Multiverse of Madness, so we only have to wait one more year. But still, give us something. Not to mention how dirty they did Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver too. Fox did a way better job with Peter's Quicksilver. It's not even funny. It just felt fun to see Evan Peters on screen again playing Quicksilver. Such a great character. He did such a good job with this role. I really hope they bring him back for some more screen time soon, but that's it. I just wanted to rant a little bit about how they did us dirty. I'm sure we'll see him again, but what do you think? Tell me in the comments, because I'm going crazy over here after that ending, but I'm pretty excited for the other stuff coming out soon, Snyder Cut and Falcon and Winter Soldier, so let me know. And don't forget to go down in the comments and join the very best Discord on the planet. We've got a really chill space to hang out and make some friends that love these shows too, so don't forget to follow me on Twitch at It's Michael J and punch that like button with your face. And until next time, I will see you in the comments. Peace.